I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, what build do I want to make on 2K19? Or even 2K18 if you're still on 2K18. If the system's the same, you'll have to know what build to make, right? So that's why I came here. I'm going to tell you which builds are the best. So with a sharpshooting shot creator, the pros outweigh the cons heavily. The pros, there's so many pros. You get a good three-pointer, you get a really good mid-range, you even have a good driving layup. As a sharpshooting build, is probably the best sharpshooting build for all three levels. For layups, for mid-range, for three-pointers, you can do everything. And it even has the badges to back it up. You have all the silver shooting badges, you have silver relentless finisher and acrobat, so you can finish easily. You do have Hall of Fame tireless score, which will help you out in so many different areas. Hall of Fame difficult shots for if you're leaning, if you do get a bad animation, or if you do want to lean. Hall of Fame mid-range Deadeye 2 for those mid-range. With the point guard and shooting guard builds, you do have the bronze passing badges. The biggest con is the build is slow and doesn't have the best speed or speed with ball. But it's not terrible. The speed and the speed with ball is not terrible. Now with the sharpshooting shot creator, I think the best build you can go with is either a point guard or a shooting guard. You want to be a guard because it just doesn't have the speed to really keep up with with some of the taller builds. So as a point guard or shooting guard, point guard you probably want to be around 6'5" just to have that extra bit of speed to run the offense. As a shooting guard, you can probably be 6'6", 6'7", but your speed will drop quite a bit. So you just want to be aware of that. Now with weight, I think max weight is just a big thing for most builds in the game because you just get that double-digit increase in strength to be able to play defense, and you only lose 3 speed in speed with ball and speed. So you can't be, that's just something that you need if you're playing competitively. You need that defense on builds like this, especially builds like this. Now the wingspan you can do either normal or max. I do like max just to have that extra defense, but then you do lose a decent amount of points on your three-pointer, and the three-pointer is one of the biggest pluses to having this build. Now, you cannot speed boost, which is why I don't really recommend this as a point guard build, because you might need that speed boost as a point guard to just get the defense off and to facilitate the best and to just do your best as a point guard. With the badges, you know, you got your 3 Hall of Fames, tireless score, difficult shots, mid-range Deadeye. That's big. All those ones are big. The tireless score will help you in pretty well every situation you're in. You got your silver shooting badges, and you do got silver relentless finisher and silver acrobat, which is huge on this build because it's driving layup and all those attributes are pretty decent for a build like this. For a sharpshooting build, is probably one of the best ones. So it's good to have those badges. Now bronze badges, you do got some passing badges. You got one man fast break. You got some pretty decent bronze badges actually. Now on to the attributes. Shot close 87, pretty good for a sharpshooting build. Mid range, you got the second best mid range in the game after the pure shot creator. So you can't go wrong with that. Three-pointer, you got a sharpshooting three-point rating, 84. That's why I'm saying I'm not sure what to do with wingspan, is 84 three-pointers, 84 three-pointer. You bring it up, you get a little bit more defense, but you lose 3 points on your three-pointer. So That's up to you what you want to do with that. Now, look, the best thing about this build is it can do layups. It can score from everywhere. It can do layups, it can do mid-range, it can do three-pointers, so you really can't go wrong with this build. It can do everything. It's probably the best scoring build in the game. So driving layup at 85 with Silver Relentless Finisher and Silver Acrobat, that's crazy. Driving dunk, you got a decent dunk. You can't be mad at that. Ball control, you got an 82. 82 ball control isn't terrible. It's not the best, but it's not terrible. Passing accuracy, this is probably why you don't want to go with the point guard. It's only a 74, but even 74 is not terrible compared to some other builds. You have a post game. You have a little bit of a post game, so you can take post shots. It's probably not your best shot to take, but it won't hurt you if you do take post shots. You work in the post a little bit, kind of like a Kobe build. That's what this build kind of reminds me of, is just a Kobe build. Can do everything, score from wherever, play in the post a little bit. The rebounding stats aren't terrible because shot creator primaries usually have pretty good rebounding statistics and attributes. Now the defense isn't bad. Like, usually shot creators have pretty good defensive attributes. Shot creators are just a good, decent all-around build, and it helps with a sharpshooter build brought into it, because then you got a little bit of defense as a sharpshooter, and you got a little bit of rebounding and everything that sharpshooters usually lack, and you still have the sharpshooting attributes for three-pointer and mid-range. So it's a good all-around build, really. Now the only problem with this build, and I've said this before, is the speed. Now as 6'6", 80 speed isn't terrible. It really isn't terrible, especially for a shooting guard. But there are a lot faster builds, so you might get blown by or just have troubles with guarding players or getting past players to have a layup or stuff like that, especially with a 74 speed with ball, and then with the max weight that goes down to a 71 with the speed down to a 77. So it really isn't the fastest build, but it can still do work scoring for sure. It has a lot of scoring upside and is just a scoring build. Now my end thoughts of this build is just potentially the best pure scorer in the game. It can do everything. It can do everything well. The only problem is its speed, which as a shooting guard isn't a bad thing. Just having a little less speed is not a bad thing. So this build, I'd give it a good 9 out of 10. Personally, I'd give it a 9 out of 10 for everything that it does. It's just probably the best all-around build and best scoring build. It's one of the best in the game, so you can't go wrong with that. Thank you for watching this archetype review. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more archetype reviews. Make sure to hit that like button if you did like the video, and I'm out of here. Peace out.